Baba, sioni mwanga mahali popote. Yesu, nimefinywa sana. Nataka hii sasa na hofu ile haiji kesho. Baba, nipe uvumilivu. Baba, nipe ulinifanya nione umbali nami. Ukweli ni kuwa uliposema hutaniacha. Yesu, nipe uvumilivu. Yesu, nipe uvumilivu. Ona nimezidiwa Baba, sioni mwanga mahali popote. Yesu, nimefinywa sana. Nataka hii sasa na hofu ile haiji kesho. Baba, nipe uvumilivu. Baba, nipe Karibuni sana to our show Quarantime. It is hosted by the Young Adults Ministry, iLife here at Mamlaka Hill Chapel, Raka. We are glad to have you. So make sure to send any questions or comments. And now I'd like to introduce you to an amazing team of panelists. By the way, they are not yet married, so you guys are sorted out. Anyway, so let's start from the far right. Isaiah, karibu.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's glad to be called an amazing panelist. Yeah. So my name is Isaiah Mwire, and glad to be here.
Karibu.
Thank you, Charity, for this opportunity. My name is Elijah Usuga, and I'm glad to be here.
Karibu.
And I'm Abby Kimosop. I'm glad to be here as well.
Karibu.
It's a great joy to be here. Thank you so much, Charity, for inviting me. I am married to Joanne, so I am not yet. I am not. Yes, already, and it's a joy to be here, and I'm looking forward to an amazing time.
Hi. I'm sorry about that. My name is Lynn Adhiambo, and I am delighted to be here.
Karibuni sana. I'm so happy to have you today. And considering this season we are in, we have so much time on our hands. We are in isolation. We can't hang out the way we used to hang out. So we can share how we are all doing personally in our homes. Yeah, so I'd like to start with Abby. How are you during this season?
I'd say I'm thankful to God that I haven't been adversely affected by this period. Yes, there's been the positive and the negative, but I am doing well, yeah? For the positive side, I think my life has been, the speed is manageable now. Yeah, my life was too fast before that. Now it's manageable, thank God.
Wow, wow. Isaiah?
Yeah, thank you. I thought that I would suffer being the side of extroverted, the extroverted side. But I think I'm discovering that I also have an introverted side where I'm enjoying the being alone, the space of being alone, but at the same time missing friends, the random hangouts, the random just walking outside, Nairobi, I can't go home. Yeah, there's again those beats. Again, life also has been slowed down. You make a handbrake, literally. Yeah.
Eli, I'd like to hear from you too.
Yeah. Personally, I'm a social person. And actually, I was dying of loneliness. But to the extent that I was going to my neighbor's place and knocking, "Hey, unituaje?" So I think I'm actually glad to meet you guys. It's been a while, I haven't seen you. And I thank just God for this season, despite even separating us. But I've been able even to know my neighbors. I've been able to know my neighbors because we live in a society where we just greet each other and that's it. But right now I've been able to know their name, talk to them, we do workouts together.
Oh, cool. Wow. Hey, goals. Goals.
What have we doing in our lives?
I know. Lead, how are you feeling?
I think for me it's a mixture. Just like Isaiah or even more, I am a conversation person. I like talking. I like seeing people. I really struggle with technology. So the whole idea of calling someone or Zoom or all those things, a little bit struggling. But on the other end, I think it's because my friends have slowed down. I now have more time to just catch up with them, virtually get to know things I didn't know about some people. I'm reading more now, which is interesting. I'm spending time in my house, spending time just asking myself questions, like who I am. So it's a lot of thinking, a lot of spending time with people, and not physically. Ideally, I'm not breaking any rules. I'm just getting to know myself, getting to know other people. But oh my God, I miss conversations and I miss people and I miss seeing people. It's in between.
Okay. Reverend Maura?
Or the season. At least for me, my wife is nothing much has changed actually because my wife is there and my children. But doesn't mean that this season has also not affected married people. Also, even for us married people, it has affected us in one way or another. And in chatting with many married people, I've seen even there Lorraine. Shout out wherever you are, watching us from. But I have had to learn something new throughout this season. For example, like I've been painting our house. My wife has been telling me,
cool.
paint the kitchen, paint here. So I've been painting the house. I got something for my kids where they can store their clothes, just to keep myself busy as well. But also I have missed our people. I've missed seeing all of you guys, around. And so today is a great joy. It's like a reunion, being able to see you and we can be able to chat. So my heart goes out especially to you guys. I don't know how you've been managing this season. At least I have company in my house. You guys, I don't know. I know that it's been hard, missing of some opportunities. There's people who have they've been affected by work. There are people in this young adults ministry who have had to postpone their weddings, or they have had to restructure, or even perhaps do a small wedding, not what they had envisioned, because of this season. I don't know about Ellie. I don't know this season how it is for you. Are there chances, especially of dating, pursuing? Are there chances that have been?
Yes.
I know this is an ambush, but I just want to know where you are at.
Speak, brother.
This is a big ambush. So at the end of this clip, we'll have a link over here. But I think it's just been a season of contemplating and looking back to my relationships with my friends, and just trying to think of which one can lead to another, which relationship can lead to
Choices.
which can change my situation.
Hey, you have an array.
As in friendship, relationships. Stop putting me on the spot. Yeah. So it's been that season of just looking back and contemplating. But I think the barrier, the major barrier, is not being able to meet physically. Like right now, it's also it's somehow plastic when guys chat, and there's that lacking bit where you guys can't meet, and you enjoy that bit where you share a joke and someone gets to laugh. You see, you get to see the emotions. Yeah, I know some of you are picturing yourself in a day situation. I paint pictures like that, but yeah. So it's been that space, Pastor Mohora. Yeah.
Okay. So nothing fruitful, concrete so far.
I'll stick to the link.
Okay.
Your wife, Ellie, your wife.
Yes. What I think I'm picking is the social part of our aspect of the life is now a bit different. We're not able to meet in person. Like myself, nimechoka kujipikia mimi mwenyewe. And I think you mentioned about loneliness. There are those moments or pockets of loneliness you feel like, I wish ningekuwa na wase, tungemeet pamoja kwa hao. We used to do cookouts. We would actually meet in our houses. We cook together.
Yeah.
And I hear you are saying that it has really affected, you can't be able to meet them in person. So what are you doing with your time now that you're just in the house?
Would break it to, for the social bit, I think something that Eli has said that I've picked is, in our chats, hakuna content. Like, you can summarize a whole days with just two, three sentences.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it's a boring, not, well, if I may use that word, a routine thing.
Yeah.
If you're going to work, it's just work. Probably at work there's not much, then get back home. So even if I decided to check on Eli, be like, yeah, nimekuwa poa, siku imekuwa tu, and that's it. Na wewe, I left your chat.
Yeah.
But yeah, personally, I tried to pick some skills here and there. But then came to realize that, am I picking these skills just because someone has said that, get a skill during this season? And I realized that, I love the, continuous personal professional development. But then it has come with another pointer that I need to plan. So this is what is happening. That I've picked a skill. I'd put out, say, learn more about videos, programming, and a few others. Then I didn't have a plan. Like 2, 3, 4 years down the line, I didn't see how this skill is helping me.
Yeah.
So the other side is that now I'm not motivated. So I've started skills and then put them on hold. There are so many online courses. I've downloaded videos, especially programming. I wanted to advance this programming, but there's not that motivation. So there's that bit where there's laxity, and then all of a sudden come to my senses, then go back to it. But I think I need to, get the motive and purpose to why I am picking these skills, just to get into that bandwagon of, hata mimi nilipata skill by the way. Yeah.
Oh, nice, great. Lynn, he's mentioned about the motivations. I'm just wondering how we can motivate one another during this season to be able to either develop a skill. It might not be a skill, it could be how you can now maximize on the time you have, now that is we have too much time on our hands. Yeah.
I like what he has mentioned. So first, I think for me, myself, the whole pressure thing, because I feel like online, there's this messaging around, a skill, or da-da-da-da, will be this, because then if we are pressuring, I am one of those people who pressure people. So this is a teaching moment for me, teachable moment, but I've learned, because people are experiencing this space differently.
Yeah.
And so, so one, I think, for me, I've learned, even with my friends, I've seen, to minimize pressuring, and just to avoid or rather, actually avoid making someone feel bad for feeling what they're feeling.
Yeah, true.
So that ideally it's just conceptualizing any feeling is relevant. And then I think too, even though I'm not a technology person, I've learned you use what you have. So now we have at least most of us we have access to Wi-Fi, or at least we have airtime once in a while, right?
Yeah.
So just checking up on people and asking. So it's not asking the routine thing of hi, how are you? How are you doing? But it's generally making it conversational as opposed to checking a checklist. Because I realize as well as human beings, we can be in that space of a checkbox thing.
Yeah,
but it's generally asking. But then I'll also charge the person who's being asked to also be open to conversation. So that it's a two-way thing. So that let's not hide, because your friends, your family, depending on whoever is talking to you, let's all be open to just going through this process.
True. I'm also thinking, I remember myself when I was starting the first few weeks when we started the quarantine season. It was okay because I was resting. Lakini ikafika point, naanza kuchoka na kukaa kwa hao. And I think the skills, we can make them look so complicated. It could be something about engineering, but we can pick up small skills. Like now, me and my neighbor, who's a colleague also, we usually make chapos on Mondays together. Tunapika chapo pamoja. Then I've also learned how to bake a banana cake. Of course, sometimes they have flopped. But I think we can probably even share what we are doing personally, as in, what are you doing with maybe when your time and your friends, and how are we motivating one another? Even because you had mentioned about neighbors. We're getting to know our neighbors more, getting to know their names. Yeah, so Abby.
For me, I think the things I have picked during this season, first I stay with a friend. So we started working out. We never used to work out before. So now we work out together. We cook a lot, and I've been intentional about reading.
Wow.
Yeah, so I spend a lot of my time reading, and then bumped into writing, so I write here and there. So I just try to actually plan on how to spend my free time.
Wow.
Because if you don't plan on it, you'll end up spending it on social media just wasting it. So it's good to actually plan for it, because you will have some free time during the day.
Yeah.
So take a mental note. Tell yourself, when I have like 30 minutes during the day, I'll read a few pages of this book. I'll study this. I'll do that. Yeah.
Wow. The issue of loneliness, Reverend Waura, tell us what insight can you give us when it comes to loneliness? And especially if you're single and hakuna mtu kwa horizon.
Okay. And I think especially being a Christian, the Bible encourages us not to live like the people of the world.
Yeah.
People have kind of, given up. I remember last week on Saturday when people thought that the president is going to lift up the lockdown. And then he extended it with 21 days. And there was a sense of hopelessness all around. I could check on social media, people, like giving up.
Yeah.
But I think this is the time even to harness our faith, to encourage each other, to read more, get even, as you're saying, planning the time. I think I've learned that, Abby, planning your time even to read more. Or for example, like on my side, there's this series that I've been watching. A few of you know about that series. It's 15 years late. But anyway, I'm watching it nevertheless. And I realized that I can watch 3 episodes, but I try to read the word of God, the Proverbs, the Psalm. 10 minutes, I'm sleepy. But as an episode lasts for 40 minutes. That's 120 minutes, and I'm glued to it. But when I go to read the Word of God, within 10 minutes, I'm a bit discouraged. So I'm learning I'm learning not to be trapped to entertainment during this season, that I can also grow. I can also utilize this time well, personally as a man or as a Christian, as a father or a husband. I have to really plan my time well. So I think that's one of the ways of coping up with this sense of loneliness. But also you have to understand that as as you're feeling that loneliness, someone else could be feeling it. You get,
Yes,
and maybe it's a
yes.
time to reach out because we are isolated from our parents. You know, we can't see them. We can't see them. So now you have to face this hurdle. Head to head. And if you're feeling like that, you have to understand and know that a few other around you are also feeling that loneliness. So if God has blessed you with some bundles and all that, I think it's time also to initiate deliberate conversation. I want to know how you are doing. You get, because maybe the other times someone will call you with an intention. I want to come and hang around your place because you have Netflix account that you have paid. You get, I have a hidden agenda. You get, I want to come to you because maybe I don't have supper. You get, so but now you are forced to be at our places and to live in that space. So it's high time also we develop that habit of getting to know how are our people doing deliberately, and planning our time very, very well. And if maybe there's a book of the Bible that you have never read, this is a very high time to read. I've been reflecting from First Peter's, a message of hope you get during the season of persecution or something like that, and it has really been a source of great encouragement. So you can beat loneliness in all those ways, but do not go back again to your former past. You get, because now this Christian thing has been affected. We can only meet for 30 minutes with, Zoom with our real groups and something like that. Then you might find some people going back to their old habits. You get, and being attracted to that. There's a friend who was sharing how one of their friends who were trying to look into ways of how we can encourage that friend not to go back to alcoholism, because maybe this season is full of loneliness. Stima zimepotea. What else are you going to do? The night will be long and you're alone there, or even other behaviors that are not very, very good during this season. So let us be firm, stand firm during this time, face the challenges that we have, definitely with an encouragement that we get from God, and I know that all will be well.
Wow, I like that, being very intentional with calling people and asking them how they are doing, because it's very easy to lose someone during this season. And when you mentioned about, taking time to read the Word of God, let me just share one way that I'm doing that. I said a group a while back, and now we are doing a book called Fervent by Priscilla Shire. And we meet every Tuesdays on WhatsApp. It doesn't have to be on Zoom, but we're doing on WhatsApp chat. I remember there's one day stima zilipotea, history ya stima imetusumbua sana. And somehow I just got a bit confused because I wasn't sure that, as in nilisahau kabisa. But one of them called me and told me, hey, Charity, Mr. Kileo to miss. See, we still meet, hata kama hakuna stima. So I had to find a way for me to get back to the chats. But scheduling our times and what to do, working out is hard. It is a struggle. I don't know how we are handling that because I have a schedule myself, but kusema ukweli sijakuwa nikifollow. But at least there is one I'm able to, at least I joined you working out, and I hope I'll keep at it. But how are we going to handle the schedules? Because right now things are very uncertain. So we can share. Eli?
Yeah, okay. Let me just start from the beginning, from the transition that happened when the COVID thing started to now where we are at. So I remember when COVID happened, and then the country was in panic. People were buying sanitizers all over and stocking up cereal. So I remember I had the mixed feelings. I was anxious. I was worried because, you don't know. Maybe you could be the one being retrenched next month. You could be the one who's receiving a 50% or 75% pay cut. So at first I was very worried, but I realized that worry is not adding a cubit to my height. And if and my height,
You have
my height
more
is enough. So, So, and the transition has happened very naturally. I think we are adaptive human beings.
Yes.
Because what has happened in our block, we live in an estate where there are several blocks. So in our block, there's someone who's a trainer, who's a gym trainer. I know you're asking about how you can keep a schedule and be focused and disciplined about it. So there's a guy who actually is a trainer, and he is the one who actually sets the time every day at 6. If you are part of that group who shows up for the workouts, he comes and knocks at your door, and actually he gave us mats. He gave us gym mats. He didn't give us, we bought them at 1,500. So we...
You gave him the cash, then he gave you the mat.
So he gave us the mat. Yeah. So I think having someone who is sort of a coach, I think leadership plays a role in this discipline. If you can appoint someone amongst you guys who are working out to be like the coach, to be like the one who is now doing the following up. So he does that, and we do workouts from Monday to Thursday at 6. And then on Friday, we do a morning run.
Okay.
Yeah. So I thank God for the opportunity.
Are you here to encourage us or to discourage?
I'm not here to gas myself up or to show off. I'm just saying the situation as it is. Okay, but I thank God that we have, if he's watching, hey, big up Mrefu. They're watching. Yeah.
I think I'd add and say, when it, as human beings, I think generally we are intense. Or okay, let me speak for myself. I am intense, and the people around me are intense. So these ones are intense. I know. I think one is just to be realistic. Because sometimes like you have psych. Oh, tonight, tomorrow, so the next week I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 7, a million things, and then again, because we're human beings, you realize, kidogo, I'm struggling here, and then you decide, I'm just going to give up altogether. So I think the power of it and the power of it and the idea of it is just to be as realistic as possible with your goals and the things you're deciding on doing. Yes, I'd say that first.
Okay. I think even as she said, being realistic, there's also a space. I believe there's a space for, like, these times are unprecedented. No one has ever been in this space before. So not all the time you'll be in the right headspace for that.
Yes.
So be lenient on yourself. Don't be too tight. When you're not able to do it, it's fine. It's not all the time that you're able to stick to your schedule and be structured like you planned. Sometimes you're just not there, and it's okay.
It's okay to be yourself, right?
Yes.
And I've learned that at least
You are encouraged by Abby.
someone has talked on my behalf.
We are not encouraging you to overdo it again.
My problem was seeing that I have all this time, so I didn't have a schedule. So what I found myself, falling at risk of is being, digitally addicted. That's that I'm moving from FB, Twitter, Instagram. And then some of these lessons we are doing online, we need these gadgets. So there's a tab up on X. You're busy trying maybe to read the book of Numbers. Then all of a sudden you hear there's a boys club trending on Twitter for all the wrong reasons. and you say, I'll come back to you. So I think one thing that I picked, from a session Reverend Maura had, was with the kids where you said that, your wife sets an alarm so that if it's entertainment, you have 15 minutes. I might need that, like set an alarm. Okay, if I'm on now social media, then I might need to set an alarm. Then I know now that's enough. Go back now to the, if it's a course or something that I'm doing, start doing it. But there's that risk that I have found myself, falling at risk of being digitally addicted. But again, thank God that there's also an awareness that came before it went out of hand.
And I think even to add on that, you can also, to motivate yourself, you can have a reward system. So where, okay, again, you don't overdo the reward. So ideally, a reward system is you, let me use food. I know people here like food. So you tell yourself, if at the end of today, I finish this percentage. Again, keeping in mind what Abby said, to also be lenient with yourself, not to put so much pressure. But then you say, let's say if I finish 60 or 70%, or you can even start, if I finish 20%, I can eat something. If or a series, I watch an episode of something. Again, here you pray for self-control.
Yeah.
An episode of something. Because, if you don't have kidogo the next day, the same time, una watch the same series. So, yeah. Then you say, if I finish this amount, this is happening, evil.
Okay.
Yeah, so by the time, like for me, the reward system works because I get so motivated.
Okay.
Like I look forward to the reward. I'm doing something.
Yourself.
Yeah. Yes. Or if you have a friend, you
Yes,
can
you
work
keep
with a friend.
accountability.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Accountability,
and then
right.
they, so you can, exactly. So
Yeah.
you send something, or I don't know how, whatever plan you decide together, both of you to do,
Yeah.
or a group of people. And then when you're done, you reward yourself, or someone rewards you. I reward myself, but it's a reward to just motivate you, and keeping in mind, again, self-control here, because you can be rewarding yourself before you start.
Yeah.
Or you go to the reward and never
And then never come back again. You relapse all the time.
Wacha kwanza nikule hii cause najua nitamaliza the task.
Yeah, so it's just, yeah. I think so,
Wow,
yeah.
that's a very perfect idea on how we can manage our schedules. So I'd like us to go on a break. Then after the break, we will do some shout-outs. And we'll get a few questions from the comments. But we are glad you are here with us. So thank you. See you in a bit.
Ewe Mungu wa majeshi, ninapenda kukaa nawe. Maskani zako zapendeza, nazikondea kwa shauku kubwa. Heri siku moja mbele zako kuliko siku elfu mbali na wewe. Bwana, nguvu na msaada wangu, takupenda daima. Moyo na mwili wangu Bwana vyakulilia Mungu wangu, na heri nikose vyote Baba, lakini nikupate wewe. Heri siku moja mbele zako kuliko siku elfu mbali na wewe. Bwana, nguvu na msaada wangu, takupenda Ewe Mungu wa majeshi, ninapenda kukaa nawe. Maskani zako zapendeza, nazikondea kwa shauku kubwa. Heri siku moja mbele zako kuliko siku elfu mbali na wewe. E Bwana, nguvu na msaada wangu, takupenda daima. Moyo na mwili wangu Bwana vyakulilia Mungu.
Welcome back, guys. We are glad you are here. We want to make sure that we are making this season count as young adults. And we have a few shout-outs here today. And thank you for joining us. Thank you for your comments. We are happy to have you. Naona Grace kabisa wanasema watu married tuko hapa pia, tusiwafukuze. Hatuwezi wafukuza. Then I see Kafi anasema hapo kwa wedding shows, you are not alone. Hizo weddings zinaweza come through very soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
So during the break, I saw our very good friend and former iLifer, Reverend Lauren Bundi. We see you.
Yeah.
We're shouting out. Tunakuona. Thank you for joining us, even though you're married. Thank you. And I've also seen Eliud Gashunje. Thank you so much for joining us. And all those people who are shouting out, thank you. Yes.
I see Naomi Mwangi. You're saying you're learning a lot. We are as well. We are learning together. Mags Njoki, you're tuned in. Thank you for joining us. Yeah.
I also saw Pascal and Kama. And
Kama
all
kwa Nyandarua, by the way.
Kama in Nyandarua. All the way from Nyandarua.
Quarantine in
I
Nyandarua.
don't know where you're getting your net.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in. And also for the guys who are representing from Joyland. All the men. Thank you. Welcome.
Yeah, I see Keshi Wangeshi, you know, a member of the COM. Yeah. Brenda Kagweria is tuned in. Opondo Benjamin. Yeah. Glad to have you.
Benja is there.
Yeah,
All right.
Benji is there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have seen, let me mention quickly, Sami Mate watching us. Why are you here, Sami Mate?
Why are you here?
You know, tulikuwa na show yako jana, Mate, you know. But it's a joy to see you there.
Yeah.
I have seen my good old friend, Samuel Omondi, Daktari. It's a joy to have you here. But also you're joined by our senior pastor, Reverend Lovi. And today is your birthday, actually.
Happy birthday!
Can we
He's growing, you know, he's approaching being fortified. Tuko na wewe. And we thank you so much for joining us together with our associate pastor, Reverend Julie Lovey. We are so much glad that you're here with us and you're enjoying the conversations.
And thank you also, Njoki Kimani. Njoki is one of us as well. She's watching us from the office. Karibu sana. And thank you for joining us for this discussion. And what we picked earlier on was rewarding ourselves. Kujipenda kidogo saa zingine, not even also putting so much pressure on ourselves. Are there other ways that we can maximize, apart from rewarding are there other ways we can maximize these schedules and also keeping at them, apart from also accountability? We can also share some of who are keeping us accountable and whether we are actually making any progress in our schedules. You can start, Abby.
I was actually going to say accountability, because it's very difficult, even with the reward system, with all these things, doing them with discipline is not easy. But when you surround yourself with people that know what you're doing and they can actually question you and ask if you did it, and they will not sugarcoat things for you, it's helpful. So having people, doing life with people, even just checking on them checking on you, them knowing what you're doing, you knowing what they're doing, yes, it helps a lot.
Okay. For me, what has worked for me, there's a group I joined. I had finished
Another
Campo.
Oh, like apart from the running one. Yes.
Ili ya kuinua weight.
This one I didn't join it during quarantine. Yeah, I joined it way back. So it was a group of Soltarians. I don't know if you know who Soltarians are. Yeah, it's a campus ministry. Yeah, so I had left Campo, and now they had a group. Yeah, I think it's called Morans Ahu or something. And then I joined that group, and I said I won't leave just because I'm older than these guys, because I was past Campo. Let me just stay here and see what these guys discuss and what they do. So during this quarantine, such groups have really encouraged me, because in such a group, I've been able to see people share books,
Yeah.
very nice books about spirituality. Personally, there's one book that was recommended. I'll share the title. The title. Sorry. Yeah, but it talks about now discipline, because I think the key word here is discipline. How do we stay disciplined? And basically, it talks about there's no way you're escaping discipline, even in spirituality. You have to do it. And so, and that thing about sticking with people who can help you actually stands out from that book. That have people whom you can contact and who can tell you, actually, I did my devotion today morning. You have a mentor. Like, follow Pastor Philip, for example. Yeah.
As I follow Jesus.
Yeah, so I'm figuring out who my mentor is. But I think I have Pastor Philip here for one. And many other people. For example, in Ahmad Men's Ministry, whom I can actually talk to and look forward to how they do life.
Okay.
So I think mentorship also.
I agree with you. Even as younger women, it's good to look for older women to work with us. And these kind of women and men, of course, our desire is that they would be as real, as authentic, and have access to the deepest part of your life, mahali hautajificha. Because that's the only way you will grow.
But also, I've been seeing people saying in the interwebs that the earth is healing. You know, that they can see Mount Kenya from everywhere. From Mountain View, from
Egypt.
From Egypt, and many other things. And to some extent, it's
From
true.
Kisii Bridge.
But I also thought that also maybe God has given us this moment also to audit our lives and perhaps also ask Him for healing. Maybe in areas that we feel that we have been affected. Maybe there's someone who really hurt you in one way or another, or people or an organization that hurt you. And I think this is a time to even heal. Ask God for healing, and getting encouragement from His Word, or even talking to other people that I want to express my heart about this person, about these people, about this organization, and I just want to heal. I pray that for all of us, whether we are young adults or married or wherever, that after this season, that we will walk boldly to the next season when God, gets out of this situation. I pray that we'll be people that will be healed, fully affirmed before Him, and we can face the next season of life without any baggage. So I think it is a good time, and because the other times we hide behind our work schedules, parties, friends, and all that.
Yeah.
But now you are alone, and one of the ways of facing that loneliness is facing your fears and your hearts, and the things that maybe have affected you in the past. So maybe that's one of the things that I'm learning, and what is it that has ever affected me? And I ask God for healing. And maybe I can also forgive, I can also forgive someone. I can also forgive, it's a journey. Forgiveness sometimes is a journey. It's not a journey of forgiveness. You get, whether it's my siblings, people, my family members, and all that. We must have been hurt by someone. So let's take this opportunity to heal.
You brought a very, important aspect. Just remember when you say that you're painting, when you're painting your house, I'm repenting. Anyway, but yeah, the whole issue of, I'd seen one use a title as the Jesus isolation, where you assess your emotions. Like, Jesus said, he would tell his disciples just before his arrest and crucifixion, my soul is troubled to the point of death. Like him being fully God and fully human, like he was aware of his emotions. So he would part and pray, again, a point where I've come to assess my emotions, pray about them. There are times I'm not mentally stable to receive a call, So I've come to realize because most of the time, I want to be in a position where I'm helping. Now, I'm in a situation where I can't help, but it's as though I wanted to help practically, as though I'd forgotten the whole issue of prayers. Like simply joining this person in prayer, it's as though it was not like a strong practical help. But now I've been put in a position where prayers are really, really part of the journey, part of the solution, a big part of the solution, actually. Yeah.
I think even to add on to what Reverend Mora has said, for anyone who knows me, I am a serious advocate for introspection. And I really like what you said, because I think because we have normally if we're not in isolation, we have time, we have escapes, things that we used to just potter through. And I'm sort of I'm challenging people to take this opportunity to ask yourself questions, right? And especially as young as possible. I'm assuming most people who are watching us are young, but even the ones who are married, take time and just ask yourself questions. Ask yourself something as simple as, I say I am saved. What is that, right? Like, what is salvation? What is the gospel? I say I am talkative. What is that? I consider myself a choleric. I consider myself as this personality. What is that? Read up. And then we are privileged to be in a space where we have the internet, we have information, we have people you can call up and ask. And the beauty of it is, because I'm realizing a lot of us, and I'm included, you might be living life and you don't have an identity. You don't really know who you are. You're a combination of your mom, your father, your friends, your exes, your pastor. You're just a bundle of things.
You've hit a dam.
Yes, you're just a cocktail of so many things, but you're not really. And I think for me, it even saddens me if you are a believer and you see, okay, I'm speaking, so you see people struggling with a lot of questions, a lot of things, because they didn't really ask themselves questions. And it's something I think I'm saying we, because I'm part of that, we avoid asking ourselves something. So I think this can be a time to, again, make this season count, our theme, yes? Just ask yourself, take time. So I journal. I'm good with silence, and I journal. I just take time off and I journal. But I don't know how you, as maybe you like recording, dancing. I don't know how you like doing yours. But it's just to take some time as well, because you can't be in isolation. You can be lonely, but not introspect. You can actually successfully not introspect. Like, just live your life and not ask yourself questions. And just and the downside of not asking yourself questions a lot of times people take a defensive. So when I poke something, you automatically ask, why are you poking? Why are you asking these questions? So I think to make this season count, sometimes ask yourself some things. Just ask yourself, by the way, I consider myself this thing, and I walk around this identity. I say my identity is in Christ. What is that, by the way? If gun to my head, will it save my life, that information? I'll just, So I think I am a challenger for, please, if you can, introspect. Thank you.
Avi.
No, just to add to what Lino's saying, I think this season we'll need to learn to be comfortable with our own company.
Yeah.
Yes.
Being comfortable with just being yourself, with your thoughts, and actually actively indulging yourself in thinking about things. The small things that we overlook all the time. Who am I? What's my relationship with my family? How has it been? What am I doing with my life? All those things that we normally don't really pay so much attention to. It's a good time to just sit back, enjoy your own company, and think about these things.
Thank you so much. I think I've learned so many things, and I believe I'll go and ask myself, who am I? I know time is well spent, and I'd like to hear from Reverend Maura, a parting shot for the young adults, the not yet married.
the not yet from the not. Not yet nuggets from the not. Okay. Thank you so much. I think I'm just looking at time. I don't know where time has gone. But I think one of the things that I've been asking myself is in this season is remembering the words of David in Psalms 23, that the Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. He leads me. And I think I've stopped there, the place of he leads me. Even during this season, let us all be encouraged that the Lord is the one who is going to lead us, and we can trust him to wherever he take us. Deuteronomy 29, verse 29, that says that the secret things belongs to the Lord, but these things that he has revealed belong to us and our children forever. I think there's some lessons that we can learn. I love that place of journaling. It's one of the areas that I'm very, very strong at not doing. You get, I'm not, it's not my strong area. And I've been thinking, I've been thinking, in the next 100 years, it's most likely that I will not be around. You get, I will not be around. In the next 100, 30-20, right? 30-20. And also remember, I wish my great grandkids can learn about the emotions that I was going through, the reflections that I was going through, and that's a place of journaling. I have my notebook here actually for journaling. I'm here to do something, but I've been challenged today that I'm going to do that. And so even as married people, we can still be encouraged by you guys who are not yet married. The single people, you have something incredible to offer, to the body of Christ, to the people around, and you're not handicapped because maybe you're not married. So I have also learned some things from you that will greatly help me and my life. But let us continue trusting in this God, that He's faithful to take us out of this. Our place is asking Him, Lord, help me do Your will. Help me do Your will. You get. Let me follow You. Let me learn about You. Teach me Your ways during this season. That when it's over, it will be counted as time that was used well, to the glory of God. I think that's my encouragement. So even when you're facing those moments of loneliness, let us not go back to where we have come from. Let this time count by doing something great in the kingdom of God, but even in our lives, but also even in our families and in our friends' lives, something that they can count. And so we have learned many things today. So thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. This has been an amazing time with you guys. We hope to have more sessions like this. But thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We are really blessed by you joining us in our session today. We thank you. So have a good week. See you next time.
Thank you.
Standing here only because you made a way. And we're standing here only because you made a way. And we're standing here only because